Hey everyone, Jason here from Griptape Nodes. I wanted to demonstrate a workflow that I've been putting together that creates a sort of podcast experience between two characters. It has a nice 2D style and uses a combination of models to get it. It uses Flux 2, Nano Banana, and Veo, and also uses 11 Labs for the audio, and then Premiere to edit it together, and of course Griptape Nodes to assemble it. I'll show you the clip and then take a look at how we put it together.
Welcome back to the cast. This is Diego, hashtag the Time Wrangler.
Hello.
So Diego, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? Tell us about your industry.
Well, I'm Diego, the operations lead at Cody's Electrical and Service. We're a commercial electrical outfit that splits our time between planned construction projects and the lights are out. We need you now type of service. We've got about 60 folks total, 45 of them in trucks every day. My job is to keep people, parts, and paperwork all pointed at the right job at the right time, while staying compliant with licenses, safety certs, and whatever our general contractors or facility managers require. It's a crazy project-by-project work. One crew is roughing in a service panel in a hospital while another is handling service calls across town.
How does a typical day even start for you?
Coffee!
Alright, so there you go. So here you can see the flow inside Griptape Nodes, and the way I started was by creating an agent that helped me design a recording studio. So I just gave it a little bit of information about what I wanted in terms of the recording studio, gave it some instruction on the graphic style and a couple of rules about how to actually put together image descriptions. I then passed that to a Flux 2 image generation node, which created this style for me. For the character design, for the interviewer, and for the guest, I wanted to explore different shape language. So I asked a model to come up with a bunch of different experiments and just sort of explore different ideas for both Mary and for Diego. Based off those designs, I picked ones I liked, asked for poses of the character, and then used SeedBR to upscale to get a higher resolution image. And then using Nano Banana Pro, I placed the characters in the environment. This was going to be used as my start image for all the video generations where I needed a wide shot of the two characters. And then for individual shots for Mary and for Diego, I used the crop node to just crop in and get a tighter look. So here you can see how the crop node works, where I can just interactively place the crop wherever it is that I want, and then I get an output just like that. Given these three starting images, I went in just shot by shot and started working on creating clips. So here you can see the input for the first clip where I say Mary is interviewing Diego for a podcast. She introduces him, and I gave it some information about the style and things like that. Then using Google Veo, I'm able to get 4 different outputs.
This is Diego, hashtag the Time Wrangler. Hey everyone, welcome back to the cast. This is Diego.
And then based off of those, I pick one that I like the most, and I put it into this hold video frame node that allows me to put everything on 3s instead of playing on 1s, because I kind of like the feel of it feeling a lot more animated and hand-drawn.
Welcome back to the cast. This is Diego.
So you can see how it's updating every 3 frames instead of every single frame. It just makes it feel a little bit more natural. I then followed that exact same process for every single shot, where I would pick a start frame, run Veo, figure out which result I like the best, and then go ahead and hold that on 2s. For some shots, I would use an extract last frame node to take the last frame of the previous shot and use that as the start frame for the video generation. And then in this case, I took the original start frame of the wide shot and used Nano Banana to put the coffee mug into Diego's hand and use that as the end frame for the generation in order to make sure that Diego's grabbing the coffee mug as I want at the end of the shot. And I just continued down through the rest of all the shots, getting exactly what I wanted. So then I took all of those clips and I put them into the concatenate videos node. What this does is this just lays every single clip one after another and just sort of merges them all. And when I play it, you can see that this is taking the original audio from Veo and just the entire length of each clip.
So Diego, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? Tell us about your industry.
Well, I'm Diego, the operations lead at Cody's Electrical and Service.
So you can see some shots go long, the audio is unbalanced, and the voices aren't exactly what I want. So in order to replace the voices with a better sounding voice, I went ahead and used the 11 Labs Voice Changer API, where I was able to take the audio for the entire clip, and 11 Labs would take that voice and fit it to the original inflection and dialogue. Now I just went ahead and grabbed the whole clip and plopped it in there, so what's fun is in this you actually hear Diego's voice doing all of Mary's lines.
Everyone, welcome back to the cast. This is D.
So you can see that's Diego right here. Here's another voice option for him. Right?
We're a commercial electrical outfit that splits our time between planned construction
So there we go. So I was able to take his clips, and I did the same thing with Mary, where I got all of the audio,
Everyone, welcome back to the cast.
including Diego's lines.
We're a commercial electrical outfit that splits.
And I did that just because it's easier to take an entire audio clip and then bring it into Premiere and split it up. But basically took all of those and then went into Premiere and took the clips that I liked and rearranged them and placed them exactly how I wanted so that the lip sync would line up. I also used the 11 Labs sound effect generation node just to create different sound effects, including the lightning and various things falling on the floor and books landing and things like that I could then use and just place wherever I wanted in the edit. To do the start and the end of the piece, I needed an introduction graphics. So I used Nano Banana Pro, gave it the image of Mary and the set, and said go ahead and create a fun graphics thumbnail for the podcast, which it did. And then I passed that into Veo and I said do a nice dynamic cartoony intro video with everything sliding in, which gave me a whole bunch of examples here that I could play with. And choose whichever one I liked. And then I also wanted an outro, so I asked for shots of Mary dancing. So each of these was brought into Premiere, where I trimmed shots, adjusted audio, slid some of the timing of the dialogue over a little bit, which then gave me the final result.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the cast. This is Diego, hashtag the Time Wrangler.
Hello.
Some of the little tricks that I did have to do in Premiere, which were kind of fun. So sometimes what would happen is that I would get pretty good generation, but there would be things happening in the shot that I didn't want to have happen. For example, I have Diego moving, and he's talking, but Mary just starts moving for no reason. So I liked the rest of what Diego was doing, I just didn't like what Mary was doing. So I went and grabbed a different part of the shot where she wasn't moving, and I just comped it on top. You can see here, if I change this to multiply, you can see I basically just did a crop and just placed it right on top of where she was. And so you never even noticed. Another example of that is in this section over here, when we're close in on Diego and he's talking. When he's saying one of his lines, his mouth doesn't actually move.
With licenses.
Right there, he's supposed to say licenses, but his mouth doesn't move. So I did the same sort of thing. I went and basically grabbed a piece of his mouth where he is moving, like that, and I just created a mask around it, and then placed that on top of his mouth and just sort of tracked it and put it into the right spot. You can see over here, if I again change the blend on this to multiply, you can see how that's placed right on top there. So these are just the normal type of editing tricks that you do as you're working on something to try and get the final result, which then gives us Diego dancing around and Mary talking and lightning and all that kind of good stuff with sound effects. So there you are. Hope you enjoyed the process of putting this together. Thanks very much and have a great day.